Let's bring in our ABC News contributors, former Democratic Congressman Joe Crowley and former Republican Congressman Tom Graves. Thank you both for being here today. Joe, high gas prices and inflation have been a problem for Democrats. Why do you think Americans should trust Democrats to fix the economy if they haven't been able to do that so far, despite controlling Congress and the White House?
Well, I think if you take into consideration that, when you're in control of everything, when you have the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, you get to take credit for all the good things that happen. And when things go the other way, you blame for all the bad things, even if it's beyond your control. Remember, this is a worldwide inflation issue that we're dealing with. And what I would suggest about that is I think good economies come and go, bad economies come and go. But for Democrats, one of the big messages here is that democracies don't come and go. They tend to go and not come back. And so that's why you've heard the president, I think, continue to speak about the state of our government today and the threat to democracy, that you have people running for Congress who actually were there at on January 6th at the attack at the Capitol, who are running for Congress today. You have over 200 candidates for Congress who are election deniers. They don't believe that President Biden was rightfully elected. And so I think that's really the trend you're seeing in Democrats, as well as that the issue of abortion and reproductive rights is also on the line because of the Dobbs decision reversing Roe v. Wade.
Now, Tom, Republicans have hammered Democrats on the economy, but Democrats say that while Republicans have a lot of criticism, they don't have a plan. So if Republicans were to win, what would they do to fight inflation that Democrats haven't already tried?
Well, good morning. And first, I think Republicans clearly have the momentum right now, and I don't think it's if they're going to win. They are going to win. It's all but certain that they'll have the majority in the House. The question really is just by what margin might that be? And but you bring up a good point. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. Republicans will be in the majority, maybe in the House, and potentially even in the Senate. But they'll have to figure out how to work with President Biden along the way. But I do think they've already put out the plan, and probably part of the Republican success of this fall has been that they've been aspirational. They've looked forward. They've met the voters where they are, and they've put a plan out. Whereas I've noticed that the Democrats' message has been more pointing fingers or blaming or potentially name-calling or scare tactics. And right now, when the American people are struggling, whether it's with high gas prices or with inflation or high interest rates, whatever the circumstances may be, they're looking for something that provides them security about their future, or about their finances, or even their personal security.
Now, Joe, polls show crime is another tough issue for Democrats, with voters trusting Republicans more on that issue. Why do you think that is, and how hard will that be for Democrats to overcome today?
Well, I think it certainly is an issue. We've seen the crime rates go up in major cities all across the country. I think that also is a direct result of coming out of the pandemic that we had just prior to this as well. I think the economy we're dealing with is also coming out of the pandemic. But there's no question, I think Tom is right. You have to meet voters where they are. And I think Democrats should have been talking more about the crime issue, should have been talking more directly to people about their pocketbook issues as well. But I also would just suggest, again, that there are other issues out there that Democrats are talking about as well that are also a threat to our country internally. And I think that has become the overriding issue for this election day today. You know, the pundits have said what they said. The polls have said what they said. The only polls that really matter are the ones that are taking place today in all 50 states.
That is true. And Tom, polls, analyzing going into today, they do show voters also tend to favor Democrats on the issue of abortion. Your home state of Georgia will be key to control of the Senate. Republican Herschel Walker has had to defend himself against accusations from two women now that he encouraged and paid for their abortions years ago, despite campaigning against abortion access now. Walker, of course, has denied those accusations. But how much do you think that will matter in that race, and how big of a challenge is this topic for Republicans in general for these midterms?
Yeah, that's an issue that I think has mobilized both bases, quite frankly, and probably equalized that energy is on either side. But you bring up those accusations against Herschel Walker, and to just show you, I guess that's a great example of the damage of the brand of the Democrat Party right now, is that you have an incumbent U.S. senator who's affiliated with Joe Biden, who's running even with a person who has these accusations levied against them. That's remarkable, and that just shows you where the electorate is right now. That they are the brand of the Democrat Party currently, as it is not the Democrat Party that they might have elected 2 years ago. And so I think over the next couple of months, you're going to see the Democrats really have to grapple with where do they go in the future.
All right, former Congressman Joe Crowley, Tom Graves, thank you both. We appreciate your time today.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.